Hello everyone, I'm Laura Lencioni and I'm the owner of Argento Acres. I'm a mom in my 50s and I'm a first-time farmer. This channel is where I will document my journey as a new farmer and sort of share all of my adventures and with anyone who's interested. Argento Acres is located in Covert, Michigan. It's about 14 and a half acres. There are about 4 acres of existing mature blueberry bushes. About half of the property is wooded. I've recently put up a hoop house for vegetables and all season growing. And I'm going to start an herb garden to create some dried herbs, herbal tea mixes, and spice mixes. I'm transitioning the land to organic agriculture starting this year, and I'm learning all about regenerative agriculture, soil health, food safety, sustainable foodways, equitable foodways, just the living systems that go into creating a farm like this. Over the next several years, as I transition, I'm going to be evaluating the pros and cons of officially getting organic certification, but my practices will be sustainable practices. I've always had an interest in organic gardening for pretty much my whole life. And several years ago, like going way back, I had a working share in a farm called Cedar Valley Sustainable Farm in Ottawa, Illinois. I started having a working share with them back when they were doing a vegetable CSA in their first couple of years. And then when they switched to raising animals and providing a meat CSA, I also stayed with them for another season or two and learned a little bit about that as well. And they, I believe, were one of the first meat CSAs in the area. And they're still around and doing great and just have a wonderful product down in Ottawa, Illinois. So after I got married and had my son, I was no longer doing the working share. I bought a house in Chicago. I had a garden in every square space, every square foot that I could fit. I had the square foot garden boxes and edible landscaping, and I was very involved in the Galewood Montclair Garden Club. Seeing as how I was established in my career as the marketing coordinator for an architecture firm specializing in hospitality, and my husband at the time was also established in his career. My son was doing well in school. I pretty much figured that my opportunity to have a rural property had gone by the wayside, and I was okay with that. I had come to terms with that at this time. A few years later, however, I got divorced, sold the house in Chicago as part of that, lost the garden, lost the urban beekeeping. I had several hives on the property, which was a really great addition. So sold that, moved to an apartment in Oak Park to sort of get back on my feet, and I worked in Oak Park. So that was a natural transition for me. And again, just trying to rebuild things. I got a garden plot in Mayfield Community Garden, which is run by Third Unitarian Church in the Austin neighborhood in Chicago. And I had a couple garden plots there. I also became involved with the Oak Park Farmers Market, and I joined the commission, was on the commission for a total of 4 years, and I was the chairperson for 3 years. And again, never losing sort of my passion for organic agriculture and supporting family farms. And I continued to learn as much as I could, make connections, and become as familiar as possible with the industry. But at that point, I figured my role was supporting it from the outside. And again, that, my opportunity as, a woman going into my 50s, coming out of a divorce, probably was not going to happen to own a real property. Then the pandemic hit. In 2021, I had planned a trip to Italy with my son for my 50th birthday. I had been looking forward to this trip for so long. It was something I thought was not going to happen. Um, my family had gone through a rough couple years, not just my divorce, but a few other things were going on with other family members that we all kind of had survived. And this was my way of celebrating the fact that we all came through and did great, and was looking forward to this trip. So the week that we were supposed to go, the whole world went on lockdown. So that trip was then canceled. So I was working remotely, looking for something positive to do to kind of um, be forward thinking and be positive and kind of not stay disappointed in my plans not working out. And my brother owned at the time a couple of rural properties, one of which was the blueberry farm. And he is an IT professional with his own business. The business was really taking off. He did not have time for the blueberry property anymore, so he put it on the market. And since I was working remotely and he really needed help maintaining the property until it sold, I came up. I maintained the property, maintained the farmhouse, helped with the harvest, and really fell in love with the work and fell in love with the property. I'd been coming up there for years, but never spent this much time there before. And after talking to my brother, I had gained confidence that, my original thought was it's too much land for a 50-year-old sedentary office worker. And as the season went on, I realized, no, actually, I could do this. It would be biting off a lot, but I could do this. So I did. I agreed to buy the farmhouse. We were going to wait 6 months until finalizing the sale, but he took it off the market and had a little waiting period. And during that time, I lost my job of 13 years because, as I mentioned earlier, they were architects who designed restaurants, and the whole hospitality industry was not doing well, and so they let a lot of people go. I was one of them. And so, then comes the concept of the silver lining. I never would have spent the time on the farm and decided to buy it had COVID not hit. I never would have focused on doing the farm, put this much time into it, had I not lost my job, because my original plan was to do sort of what my brother did, was farm on the weekends, and eventually the rural property would be sort of a retirement project. So now here I was with no full-time job and some time on my hands, and I decided to take that opportunity to really focus on developing the farm several years ahead of schedule. So here I am, and as with any new business, I know this is going to take a few years to become profitable, and there's some challenges to face with that, but I'm really excited about the opportunity to try out my ideas and to really build something worthwhile on this land. So the name Argento Acres refers back to the concept of the silver lining. Argento is the Italian word for silver. I'm of Italian American descent, so I tend to like to use, nod back to my Italian ancestry. The kitty behind us is named Assunta, which is really like the Italian name for Susan. So I like to lean towards the Italian names. But, again, the concept of being a silver lining, but also I have silver hair. I am a woman in my 50s starting this new project, and I kind of wanted to sort of say that I am proud of who I am and proud of everything that I've done to get where I am. And I feel like there's a lot of strength in being at this point in my life, and I'm really, not going to shy away from that. So that's basically, story of how I got here and the beginning of what I'm doing. And I'm hoping that you guys will come along on this journey with me, and I'll share what I'm up to. I'll hopefully share some information, hopefully some inspiration. And, if there's somebody out there who's trying to make the decision to go for their dreams and they're trying to look for a little confidence boost, maybe, hopefully I can help with that too. So thanks for joining me, And thanks for listening to my story, and I hope to have you back sometime in the future. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.